Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for the 25th of May. Today we're going to cover Alphabet, Netflix and NVIDIA. So starting with NVIDIA here, we're looking at this last week. So we have seen a push higher for this in the right direction. Our fib levels are 400 and 500 to the upside here. We can see that last week's bar, however, was reduced compared to the week before, so that means that there's some divergence there probably, and let's go in and have a little look at that. So that's a weekly chart. On the daily chart here, we were looking for wave 3 to move up towards the 400 area through here, so we need to work out this particular 5 waves within wave 2 to wave 3 here. So we're just going to go straight to the tick chart. And this tick chart is not, I normally work on 100, but I'm working on 20 with these stocks because I need to sort of dive in and do some work. So I think we'll just run through this a little bit here, just so we're on the same page. I've got 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave, the ABC for wave 2 here. And the next part of this here, we've got 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, the fourth, bit of an overlap here, so a bit of a thing in the personality that we need to see. And I could have that wrong too, you know. Anyway, 5 waves here for wave 1 and back for wave 2. Yeah, so coming back to this overlap here, I'll be mindful of that it's there, because what can happen here is that we can have this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 and then building into third waves up here. So it could actually be a much longer trend coming into play here. But I always like to take the conservative view of things, because then I don't get, you know, then I sort of become, I try to become a bit more practical and pragmatic in what I'm doing. So from 2 here, we're going up to wave 3 here in blue. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. And it looks like we're going to be going higher here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for this little move up here. That will leave us with that third wave up here. So we can look at this as a classic trading level pattern occurring in this particular space here as well. So the classic trading levels pattern will play out like this. If this is the 400, we'll see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern, and then a move over to here. The variation of that, of course, is this one here, where we don't pull down here further, but that's okay because we always go long above these highs here anyway. So that's what we'll be looking at across this level here for this. So still have a fair way to move up here. So this will be, copy this, put this one here. This will be a large 3 here, intermediate wave 3. So in the meantime here, you can look for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to move up towards this area here. Okay, I'll just save that. I don't think I saved it last week, and I think I lost a lot of my work. Well, I lost some of it. So I'll just bring that back to the daily chart here to recap that. So yeah, we just had a bit of a look at this move in through here, and there will be different ways to count this, because we had overlapping wave structures in this space here, and I've noted that and I'm aware of it. But the main point takeaway here is that we are seeing impulse waves, you know, still unfolding to the upside. So this market is still in bullish mode, so it's a good stock to hold long in as such. All right, so moving along a little bit, we're going to be looking at what's our next stock, either Netflix or Alphabet. I'll just see which one pops up first. Netflix I spotted first in my list. So with Netflix here, just coming back here, let's bring it all in a bit. So pretty much the same as the last stock in a way, but slightly different. We're looking from a third wave here, all the way down for the A, the B and the C wave here, as wave 4 here. And then it's logical to look at this as wave 1 and 2 here. Oh, we could look at it differently, I suppose. We could look at it as an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here, and then have wave 4 sitting over here as well. So it's possible. I'll just I'll put that there and then dull that out. It'll just remind me to mull that over a little bit. So this move up here, last time we spoke we were looking for 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4. That spike shouldn't be there actually. I know it's on a few platforms, but it shouldn't be there. So 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, and pulling back to the fourth wave. Now the fourth wave can pull back to the fourth wave of 1 less degree here, or it can pull back to 38.2%, which is a little bit higher. I also like to sort of look at possible options, but without sort of, giving too many. But this move up through here is in 5 waves, and the 61.8% is here. So it's possible that, I'm expecting it to come down here in 5 waves here, and then have a bounce back here anyway. But because it's moving here, we've just got to be careful that we do get the 3 waves here and not 5 waves in this 61.8% retracement level back up here as well, because from there we could end up just moving higher from that stage. So and then that would play out here as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. You've got to be careful of these things in a bullish market. So I'm aware of it, and we'll just keep working through it. But we're going to go and have a look at this on the tick chart. Once again, this tick chart's this tick chart's 20 rather than 100. And for wave 1 here, I've got wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C expanded flat for wave 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 for 1 here and 2 here. I think that's right here. But if it changes, then I just got to do a bit more work on it. I've done some on it, but I just like to sort of get things settled in a little bit. But if this is correct, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here, and then 5 waves up here for wave 5. And we're looking at this from the top here. It counts down 5 little waves here for wave 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2. Nice strong third wave down here. That could also be put on here. I haven't actually pulled that apart here, but still living with wave 4 here. And then I've got to get 5 waves coming down in this section here. Now wave 1 here looked quite long here, didn't it, compared to what's going on here? So I just got to see what happens here. This just may be, that could be wave 1 and 2 here. This could be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming down here for this, so we could bring that down further from this point here. I know that the S&P and the Nasdaq are going to be a bit bullish, but this this market's been working in opposite to them in this current trend here. So we'll see how this plays out here. But as an impulse wave to the, as it's still just not finished, that's all. So if it finishes off here, we still need 3, 4, and 5 here for the A wave. If we get 5 waves down here, then we can look at the B wave being in 3 waves here. Now, coming from orange wave 3 up here, which is a minor wave, coming down to minor wave 4 here. Wave 4s can get complicated, so we could end up with all sorts of patterns within here. There's about a dozen different patterns that we can get. So and also with wave 4s too, it's okay to trade this degree of structure, that's okay. But we normally got to, before we can call them in, we normally have to wait for these guys to mature a little bit. And what I mean by mature, that means at least have this one down here. If this is 5 waves, well, then we know we're going to get 3 here. If this comes down in 3 waves here, only gives us 3 waves down to wave C here, well, then we could be in the 3 flat corrections. We could be in triangle, double zigzags, all sorts of things. So we'll just see how we go with this, and we'll look for a buying opportunity further down at this space here. Okay, and Alphabet. So Alphabet's been pushing higher. So in the bigger picture here, we've been looking at it like this here, with wave A here, then a B wave up here, and a C wave down here. I could probably also come up 1 degree here as well. I'll need to check that, but I'm quite happy with this at this stage here. We're looking for an impulse wave up here for wave 1 and back for wave 2. And these can be a little bit sort of tricky in that you know, we count the first 5 waves up, that's cool, and we look for the ABC here, but sometimes we look for these and they can be wave 1 here, and like this wave 1 here can be sitting in here, and this wave 2 here can be sitting in here, and this just keeps on building through up here and becomes wave 5. So it's just, and we're going to have a look at that today as well. I think I've done that somewhere in this pathway, so we're going to have a look. So this is kind of the first one here. I have changed this count because we made a new high through here. I was conservative and felt like I did all the right things, but the market's just still climbing higher, and that's okay. So we need to understand this up here as wave 1, but also too, I wanted to have a look at wave 1 being in here with wave 2 sitting in here for this as well. So we'll be doing that. I've just got to see what charts I've put these on, so just bear with me while I go through here. Okay, so I got lucky. So here's the first one here. So this is a possible count where we have wave 1 here and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave here, and the fifth wave up here for the third, back for the fourth here, up for the fifth here, for the third wave here. So really the third wave will come in across the top here, and I find that quite natural actually. That's like just quite normal for me to see that, and that's why fourth waves quite often, I mean, they're normally sideways and complicated anyway to a point, but this is where they would start being sideways across this medium level here, 1500. It's a medium level because it's halfway between two major levels, 1000 and 2000 to the upside, and then just the Fibonacci numbers that run through here in the minor levels. So that was one count. Let me just, I think I have to go to the tick chart now. I'm not sure if I've done it in 100 or just want to have a look at 20 ticks here as well. That's 100 ticks. Okay, this has got a bit more detail. This is another way to count it. I know this is a bit frustrating, but like I said, the beginning of doing all these stocks here, I need to get familiar with them. And I need to account for, you know, all the waves and so on. So 1 and 2 here, and this has been an improvement here as well because I can see that we had 5 waves in here. So 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here, and wave 4 here, and 1 and 2 in here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in here, and 5 here for the third wave. Fourth wave here, which will probably be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly to this point. I just need to pull that apart a bit further, and wave 5 here. So what we'll be looking for here is a little push up here, a little bit further. We're coming into group 1 here as well. So, well, let's just work these out here. So 10, we'll have to adjust that, 20 here, 30 here. If we find support on top of 30, then we know that the market's going to go to the next level, which is 5, which is 50, in this case, the midpoint. And then we've got group 2 up here, which is 80, 72 here, roughly. We'll come back to those later, and 65 here. So 65, 72, and 80 are in that space there. And that takes us into the 1500. So between 1400 and 1500, it's simply the numbers, Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, and 3, 5, and 8, and we put in little group 2 there. So I'm kind of looking for this to make another little high here, and then have an ABC correction into this space here, and that top could be in already if I looked at, I mean, I don't know how that counts out here. I can see different ways, but It's probably this one here. No, that's not going to work. That's the low, so I'll just leave it there on the low for the moment, and just see how this pans out. But yeah, just be mindful that this can top out here, unless it gets support on top of number 30 here, 1,430, then you know it's going to go higher at that point. But you know, we've got the waves covered here in 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, and then this wave 4. So the extension's in wave 3 here, so wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same. So we should move a little bit higher in this, and we could travel even higher still with that. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with this particular stock at this level of detail anyway, so we'll see how we push along with that. But yeah, there we have it in a way. So we've still got higher to go with all of this. That's the main point here. I just got to decide which is the right count. It'll take me a little while to do that, but that's okay. I mean, this count here makes sense to me. So if we wave, you know, if we see this is going to push higher here, because you can just see it. But if this pulls back here, it'll pull back to 38.2%, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So that would leave us in here for that. So that's the 38 point. So it's going to come to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree in here. But we'll work through that. And I'm thinking in some way that you know, if I do these 3 stocks on the Monday, then we won't be visiting them again until next Monday, which is a little bit long, I'm thinking. So I've got to develop a way where we can just do a quick update with these, you know, during the week. So tomorrow's video, I could perhaps cover these 3 stocks again, but really quickly, just on the intraday basis. I don't know, I haven't worked out. I've got to get a bit of a format for that. I need some way of actually staying in touch with the situation. Alrighty, but that's that, and thanks for tuning in, and really appreciate your support with these new US stocks. Cheers.